Here we go on another beautiful spring day in Durango, Colorado. We've got an 06, I believe it's an Impreza. We are doing a repair on this guy. We've got the engine connectors, MAF, coming over here to the ECM. Relays here, wires that have already been labeled, test mode connector. What we don't have is the pedal and the OBD2 connector, it looks like. We're just gonna follow the same routine. You know, we're just gonna clean up some soldering. I'm just gonna unwrap everything and have a little closer look here. Got all the tape stripped off and it's starting to come together. Now we've got our pile of wires we need to identify. It's got, you know, labels on there, but it's always best when you're inheriting a harness or, you know, something along those lines, you're not sure, better just double check. Getting everything all organized and clipping out the stuff we know we got to replace. So this is a Subaru splice here. It's just a parallel splice, but off of this with some soldered connections. Getting all the non-Subaru stuff out of here so that we can start resplicing as needed. The harness is all sorted and organized, so now we get to have fun with ECM pinouts. If you're doing something similar, find the pinout at busaru.com. I'm gonna just de-pin as we go here. Usually I wait and make little piles, but here we go. So we've got several piles. We've got our connect pile, so this is going to relays and such, tack, etc., battery. This is the pedal, and we're not completely sure what we're going to do with this guy yet. We may just repin and extend, we'll see. And then the cruise control stuff here. Next up is going to be working on those relays. As I'm working through repinning these relays here, I thought I'd show you how to depin these guys as well. So we got the yellow red that we're going to repin. So you can just take a flathead or whatever picking and prodding tool you have, cruise in, and I kind of like having it slightly maybe like at a 45-degree angle, and then kind of pull down this little tab in there, you know, putting a little pressure there. You can see this kind of comes out. Now some of them, like this variety, have a little locking tab right here. Those are found on the main relay on the large gauge wires generally. The smaller gauge don't have that. So I'm going to go ahead and re-terminate this guy directly from the ECM. Get that cleaned up here, and I'm doing that with all of these essentially. Try and organize things and get rid of all those solder joints. Anytime I change direction in wiring, so going from the ECM down the trunk a bit and then back up to these relays, I like to have a little bit of service loop in case, you know, your lengths don't work out perfect or whatever, you need to re-terminate in the future, etc. So that's what I like to do, a little stress relief too. On the drive-by-wire harnesses, we have a inline fuse that goes from the main relay, and it's green red, but just repin. The relays are all set, nice and tidy now. And now we're going to work on the wiring that's going places. Instrument cluster, we've got test mode in here, etc. Unfortunately, in this conversion, the air fuel relay was, you know, makes sense, right? If you're building your own harness and, you know, not all that experienced. White green going to the white green that supplies the coil makes sense, but that just it's not going to work. This actually goes to battery positive through a 30 amp fuse. Going to spend a minute depinning this guy. This is for the ignition coil here, the one that goes to the 15 amp fuse in line at the main relay. Thought I would show you on this guy. You just need like a little hook tool. I use paper clips for this. Just bend yourself a little hook and we're going to be replacing this guy right here. So in this channel, see these little white tabs in there? Just hooking that, you're trying to pull that out slightly. You're using these top guys here as well as in here to kind of just gently work it out so you can see how it's coming out a bit. See that? I like to just, you know, like wheel lug nuts. Just get them to come out very gently all the way around, and then you can get the face off. Once you got the face off, then you can start depinning. That should be good. Another thing to note is all the sensor wires. We've got the gold terminals. So for anything real sensitive, we've got gold. Nothing on these bottom ones. These are all power and ground distribution. So there's a locking tab right underneath the terminal here. It's right underneath, so you just pry that down and then it'll pop right out. Fairly straightforward. It engages right in here. Sneak a tool in and pry it down. And it'll come out, and then you can re-terminate. Some of you might have noticed that on this connector here, on this repair harness, we are missing the locking tabs. The engine side relies on these to really clasp down and make a good secure connection. So we will be replacing this guy. Now time for test mode connectors. I've disassembled these guys and just gonna repin them. So the female is going to go to test mode on the computer, and the male to a dedicated ground specifically for these circuits. Let's see this guy. Everybody is routed to where we're going to run them. This is kind of a special case. It's an 82 Vanagon. He's running his extensions to the cabinet area. So I just need to do the OBD2 here, clean this ground up. All right, we're all tested. Everything's working right. Flash the ECM. Everybody's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and start organizing things. In this particular one, we're going to be leaving the cruise control stuff here as well as the throttle pedal. He is going to be extending this guy up to the front. So all of that wiring that he inherited is already sort of in the van. I'm going to leave that up here, and he's going to extend that. So I'm going to get the main trunk covered and go from there. Got the dry side all wrapped up. Now we'll work on the wet side. While I'm here, one thing to note, Subaru does have splices in this section sometimes. You look at how they do it. It's like a mastic that kind of protects water entry. And if you've got the splices that have this blue tape on it, go ahead and take this off, coat it with mastic, and oftentimes you can reuse this. You can just kind of slide it off and or slide it, put the mastic on, and then slide this back. Heat gun definitely helps. You're just trying to seal it up. Otherwise, another thing you can do is cut it and put in a crimp of your own with adhesive heat shrink. Time to replace the housing. For the lower pins, they're very similar to the upper pins. They just have a locking tab on this side of the connector. You just need to take a little tool, like a safety pin or one of these, pull that locking tab and gently slide it out. We're just gonna do one at a time here so nothing gets mixed up. And the top connectors just have that clip back in here. not to get things tangled up. There we go. Anywhere that I'm going to use heat shrink, I like to use polyimide or Kapton tape just to protect the wires a bit. Also from, you know, if you're going to be running right near exhaust or something hot, turbo. Not a bad idea. And there we have it. We have the 06 Impreza repair into a 82 Vanagon. Now this is a pretty unique setup. He's already got his pedal wiring in place, so he's going to go ahead and install that up to the front. Usually that would go in here. We've got our relays, our ignition coil fuse, the OBD2 in test mode, some connections for near where the ECU is being mounted, as well as some stuff that's going to be in the engine bay already. And we have the mass airflow sensor and the main engine connector. So thanks for following along on this one. Repairs are always unique depending on how things are routed. Sometimes people ground something they shouldn't, etc. In this case, it made a lot of sense why things were done the way they were. You know, like Subaru using white green for their ignition coil circuit, and also for a power circuit for the air fuel relay. So those were joined, so things weren't getting power where they should have been, etc. Hopefully this repair will help somebody who's also doing a repair and inherited a project, and you know, they are struggling with knowing where to start. So yeah, hopefully this helps. You can find all the stuff that I've used in this repair and for normal conversions on the website, Busaru.com, and just click on info. There's a ton of pinouts and diagrams and all kinds of stuff. So I'll see you on the next one.